Hey everyone, Matt here from Docs Running, and today we're going to do a comparison review, or should I upgrade episode, of the Nike Vomero 18, the new one, versus the older Nike Vomero 17. Now, the Vomero series has always been the premium cushion shoe within the Nike training line. Now there's going to be expansion of those lines. There's going to be a Vomero Plus and a Vomero Premium, which we're not going to talk about today, but we're going to talk about the inline versions of these shoes. And version 17, David and I really liked in 2024. It made it to a lot of top lists, not necessarily the top, but a lot of top lists for us in terms of daily training. Really a big departure from where it was previously. And it was also on the lighter end from where many Vomeros have been. Now, version 18 is a very different shoe. We just got it, was really excited for it. I've got 20 miles on it already, and I'm really enjoying the ride, but it is a different shoe. It's still a premium daily trainer, but how it functions and the components are certainly different for version 17. So the purpose of this is to help you figure out, hey, if you're wearing the 17, should you upgrade to the 18? If you're not wearing them, which one might work better for you? So as always, we're gonna start off with specs first. In my men's size 10, measured these myself. So the Vomero 17 was the lighter one. It was coming in at 296 gram, or about 10.4 ounces for my size 10. Version 18 gets heavier. It's 11.3 ounces or 320 grams. So quite a bit more shoe, and that's because there's also more shoe there. So stack height wise, 17 was 39 millimeters in the heel, 29 in the forefoot. Version 18 is 44 millimeters in the heel, 34 millimeters in the forefoot. For both of these have the 10 millimeter drop. There's just a lot more shoe in version 18. And that is definitely how it feels, but in terms of ride, they're different. It's still top layer of Nike Zoom X foam, and that is noticeable. There's a bottom layer in 17 of Cushlon. In 18, there's React X. So if you like React X, there's a bottom carrier layer of that in this shoe, and it also helps really determine how they feel. So I noticed the 17 was slightly soft. It was definitely a daily training shoe, but on the lighter end. Version 18 runs just a tiny bit firm. It's still a really well-cushioned shoe on the ride. It's just not as soft as I would expect for having this much foam underfoot. So a tiny bit firmer ride for how much foam is underfoot, but it's a bouncy ride. It's that slightly, just a well-cushioned but touch firm, but bouncy ride underfoot that makes it run a lot lighter than its listed weight, which is really, really nice. But 17 is much firmer, much softer, messing these up, much softer shoe because of what I think is the Cushlon component, and which is ironic because there's a little bit less foam here. The ride is also different. So there was a small heel bevel, but it is posterior lateral, not small, posterior lateral heel bevel in 17. Version 18 is much larger. Obviously a taller shoe. They have to rocker the shoe more to get to transition. It's just not as posterior lateral. It's a little bit medial facing. So the heel transition was a teeny bit clunky, but as it breaks in, as the foam breaks in, it's a fairly smooth ride, and the rear foot comes forward. And obviously, because there's so much shoe, the 17 is more flexible. Version 18 is not as flexible. There is still some flexibility in the forefoot. It is not a flexible shoe though, and it gets a little bit stiffer in this one, which probably adds a teeny bit to my perception of the firmness, but it still is a solid, rolling, rockered, bouncy ride, again, but just a touch of firmness compared to the softer, little more flexible. We used to think this was maximalist. Now these are maximalist now. Softer, a little more flexible ride of version 17. 17 also feels a little more nimble on foot, and that is because there's less shoe here. This is a large shoe. It didn't feel too bad. I just took these this morning on a hill run and really enjoyed them. Going downhill could fly, but version 17 is the one that's gonna have a little bit better versatility. If you wanna pick up the pace, this shoe weighs basically the same as the current inline Pegasus, and the Zoom X gives it a little bounce to be able to handle some up-tempo work if you want. Version 18, it's a daily trainer. It is for easy runs, long runs, and recovery runs. It's a little bit more difficult to pick up the pace in this shoe, and it's not really what it's meant for. 17 can handle that. This one's the better cushioned, longer run shoe. You just want something for easier efforts, which the Vomero is really not meant as a faster shoe, although we'll have to see what the Vomero Plus is like. So different in ride, different in terms of its functions now, more of the training shoe with the less versatility compared to the previous version, but there's more shoe there, a little bit more bounce, a little touch more firmness, and it's also a little bit more neutral. Version 17 definitely had these really nice sidewalls in the rear foot. Yeah, the midfoot narrowed a bit, but the sidewalls in the heel really helped offset this. The 18 is much more neutral. Yes, it's a wider platform for sure. So inherent inherent, not stability, but guidance there just in the wide platform, but the sidewalls are much smaller. So if those bothers you in the 17, they're not going to be as prevalent in the 18. So the 18 gets a little bit more neutral, not necessarily in a bad way, just a little less guidance there for those who don't need it. And for those who need it, maybe the structure might be a better option. But so far, it's been good, and I'll keep testing that and get you a 100-mile review, hopefully, and see how that holds up over longer miles. The fit is the last thing. It's also really different. So version 17 was snug, and it had a really low volume fit. So low volume that I actually thought this shoe felt like it should be it felt like a half size long, but I would not go down a half size because the volume was so low. It still felt slightly, even like, it's like the shoe felt long, but the upper felt slightly short. It did break in with time. It's just there's not a ton of room in this upper. It's a little bit more snug, which is fine, and it felt good as it broke in. Whereas version 18, there's a lot more room. The tongue is much more padded. It's really thick. If you don't like thick tongues, it's gonna be an issue. If you do, it's fine. Really nice, a secure but much wider fit, and I noticed that immediately. More volume up top, much more volume width, much more room width-wise. So if you have a wider foot, the Vomero 18 might be the better option. If you have a normal to narrow foot, Vomero 17 is going to be a better option. Both of them have fairly stiff heel counters, so if you need that's great, and they're really well padded, so very premium uppers, but more cushioning in version 18 in the upper compared to the 17. So different shoe. I'd say this shoe the 18 gets more premium, higher stack height, bouncier, a touch firmer, and really sits in that daily training category as a premium shoe. Version 17 was a unique one that just fit slightly more snug, had a little more versatility, but it's still that premium shoe. It's just a teeny bit softer despite being a little bit lower stack and a little bit more flexible. So again, very good shoes. I'm really enjoying the 18 just because for me, the more room makes it feel more true to size, and I just like the increased width. I like having a little more room there. If you don't like that, maybe it won't work, but I really appreciate where they're going. It does run lighter than what it's listed, and it does make sense being the more premium version to be a little bit heavier, but the Zoom X would give this a nice bounce that doesn't feel unbalanced or mushy soft like some shoes. So I think it's going to be a really good option for a lot of people. But the 17, don't sleep on. It's still a solid shoe. But I will say 18 is also $10 cheaper, which that's awesome in today's age that Nike dropped the price. 150 bucks is not bad in today's market, especially for this much shoe. So I think 18 is a solid deal, where I think the 160 price tag, you know, was kind of in line with other premium shoes. So, and they're still selling this for $160 some places, 120 elsewhere. So solid deal either way you go. Just make sure you find which one fits best for you, because their mechanics are all totally different. As always, hope this really helps you figure out what works best for you. I want to know in the comments below, do you agree or disagree with me? I know some people have found the 18 to be softer. I found it a teeny bit firmer. Let us know below. And like I just said, I'm going to repeat myself anyway, I really hope this stuff helps educate you and help you figure out what works best for you, because I want you to be able to run healthy and keep running happy.